All right, y'all. I'm here. Happy V-Day, everybody. We got some constructive things to do. We're gonna finish up what I told y'all before about the signs and stuff like that. All right. So obviously, last time it was from Aries to Leo. So I'm gonna continue on and go from Virgo to Pisces. So it's gonna be at the bottom. And it's just basically me reading about the sign. Obviously, I'm just educating y'all about the signs, how to spot them, their characteristics, and everything like that. My ear gonna come out, y'all. Hold on.
How many people are in there?
It's not that much people in here right now, but I was supposed to be here at 7, so took me a long time to get here. I'm sorry, you guys, but my daughter, you know what I'm saying, she has the flu, and so I had to go pick her up at her dorm. So yeah, we here now though. All right, so here goes for the Virgos. All right, so it says Virgo is the sign of service, and Virgos like to help others in many different ways. These people can be the epitome of efficiency and practicality, thanks to their methodical and exacting approach to whichever task they have set themselves. Whether they appreciate their own sterling qualities in another matter, because Virgos are also renowned for their modesty and self. Can't see this. Happy Valentine's Day. Self-effacement. Okay. How to spot a Virgo. Even when they are in their oldest clothes, there is an element of neatness to a Virgo. It is as if they couldn't look truly messy even if they tried. Generally speaking, a Virgo hates to think that they look untidy because then they feel uncomfortable, and that is true. They are neat freaks, y'all. So they prefer to make an effort with their appearance. They look good in slightly formal, tailored clothes that show off their slim figures and have a particularly affinity for shades of navy, brown, and gray. They like brightened up, sophisticated palettes with polka dots, small cheeks with tiny floral patterns. Although putting together too many of these can look bitty. Being ruled by Mercury means that the Virgos have a naturally slim build. Okay. But their Gemini cousins, and unless their lives are sedentary, they are unlikely to have many weight problems. So they don't suffer from weight gain, the Virgos. Okay. All right. So it says on here, they look intelligent and quick-witted, with daring eyes that don't miss anything. Their hair tends to be medium thickness and texture with a widow's peak, but the men often lose their hair at an early age. Their Virgo statistics is basically they're an earth sign. Y'all know that. Their ruler is Mercury. They're a mutable sign. Their colors to empower them is basically green, brown, and navy blue. Hello, Diana. Their day of the week is Wednesday, so they would move best on Wednesday. So if they wanted to do something like moving, getting married, shit like that, has to be on their day of the week, obviously, which is a Wednesday. Their top 10 traits is that they're modest, they're perfectionists. Did I tell you they're perfectionists? I have a lot of Virgos in my family. Analytical, reliable, methodical, shy, anxious, industrious, critical, and pedantic, whatever that fucking means. Anyway. The Virgo man. So the Virgo man is something, there is something about very black and white about this man. He exudes a practical, no nonsense attitude that suggests he knows what's what, and he doesn't like being mucked about it. Okay. Some signs run a mile from a crisis, but a Virgo man thrives when chips are down because it means that he can get busy with one of his favorite occupations, rolling up his sleeves and creating order out of chaos. He may also throw in a few words of advice about not letting the problem happen again, and will follow these up with some criticism. Yikes. Just in case if you didn't get the message, sometimes Mr. Virgo really lets it rip. at which point he can become overcritical and won't know when to stop. Oh no, because I'm gonna tell you guys, I dated a Virgo. He did not fuck with me because he knew better. He didn't do none of this weird shit because he sure would have got laid out quick. I went all up in his neck. I'm a Scorpio. You don't want to do no shit like this because we're gonna cuss you out. What are you doing, Gia? It is only Mr. Virgo's personality that is very black and white. Scorpios are black and white too, though. His clothes tend to be as well because he looks and likes smart. Ooh. Okay. Because he looks like smart. Respectable, and he is well turned out. Put a typical Virgo man in a hectical pattern shirt and he's in danger of passing out from embarrassment. Although some Virgos, such as Freddie Mercury, prefer to create a wildly flamboyant image that reveals an entirely different side to his modest earth sign. The fictional detective Hercule Poirot, with his fastidious and perkinity ways, can only have been a Virgo. Lucky most male Virgos don't take things to such extremes. Well, they sure ain't gonna. Anyway, Gia, they said, Jesus, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, G. Being ruled by communicative Mercury makes Mr. Virgo intelligent and analytical. He loves to chew over problems, find the patterns within them, and work out solutions. He's in love with words too, so it's no surprise that it was a Virgo, Dr. Samuel Johnson, who compiled the first English language dictionary. That is cool. They are very smart people, but you know, that whole criticizing and scolding, you ain't gonna do that with no Scorpio. You not, because you finna get cussed out. We'll chew your ass a new hole. Mercury also makes him light on his feet like a dancer. Gene Kelly and clever with his hands like the magician David Copperfield. The planet loves dealing with ideas, but is also comfortable when it comes to expressing emotions. Mr. Virgo can become completely tongue-tied in romantic situations. It isn't that he can't feel love and emotions. It's simply that he doesn't quite know how to handle them because they are messy and unpredictable. Ooh. He isn't the most paternal sign of the zodiac either. That makes a lot of sense. Because my grandfather was like very detached and stuff like that, even though he was like a good husband. It just seemed like my grandmother was the one that, you know, did most of the shit and he would just stand behind her type of stuff. But then again, my grandmother was a Scorpio, so she ran shiz. So it says on here, he isn't the most paternal of the zodiac signs either, and many male Virgos are quite happy not having any children. Ooh, listen up, y'all. If y'all mess with a Virgo, you may want to ask them, especially if you have intentions of having like a big ass family or you want to have kids. You may want to ask them if they are interested in having children, so you're not sitting here wasting your time. Just saying. If they do come along, he will struggle to cope with the trail of devastation they leave behind. Oh, Lord. And must guard against being too strict or domineering with them. In his anxieties about bringing them up properly, if he can relax and remember that childhood is meant to be fun, even if his own was rather tense or dutiful, he will have then taken his first step to learning to be more easygoing. Yikes. Keanu Reeves is a Virgo. So David Copperfield, Stephen King, Lance Armstrong, Keanu Reeves, Van Morrison, Michael Jackson, Stephen Fry, Otis Redding. Crazy. All right, so here's the women, y'all. Lord, y'all know Beyonce's one. She's a Virgo. So it's a couple of people that are Virgos. Mother Teresa was a Virgo. Cameron Diaz is a Virgo. Who the fuck is Twiggy? Apparently she's a model. She's a Virgo. So this is the Virgo women, right? The Virgo women. So you need to be on your best behavior when you first meet a Virgo woman. Even though she will be too polite to make it obvious that she's watching you, you can bet that she'll notice if you eat in ways that would make a pig blush, are lacking in manners, and a scoff of potatoes. And not only will she notice that, she may decide to give you only one more chance before quietly edging out, before quietly edging you out of her life. They criticize your ass. They judge you. This doesn't mean that she can't have fun, because like the writer Dorothy Parker, she's witty, she's quick thinking, and terrific company. She may look neat and tidy with shining hair and immaculate pressed clothes, but she's much more complicated at her heart. She can also feel constrained by the perfect image, feeling that it gives a false impression of who she really is. The actress Ingrid Bergman, with her cool beauty, was considered to be the ideal woman until she caused a huge scandal by leaving her husband for another man. Whoa! Okay. It's crazy. When Miss Virgo is frazzled and worried, she has a tendency to give herself a very hard time. She will criticize herself, whether or not it's justified, endlessly replace what she believes to be her mistakes. Oh God, I do that too, though, but I'm not a Virgo. And, and have sleepless nights fretting about it. I do that too. I be in my mind sometimes when I be like rethinking of how the fuck I can get somebody back, what I should have said, that type of shit. The self-imposed anxiety can affect her stomach and play havoc with her digestive system, giving the modest woman yet another reason to feel self-conscious, nervous, and embarrassed. If she has a deadline or duty, she will meticulously work away at it, even if she never quite meets her own standards. She will do her best. If she becomes a mother, even though Virgo itself isn't a very maternal sign. That is a lie, because I'm gonna tell you, well, I guess it will have to do with the other placements in your thing. Cause my mother's a really good mother, and she's a Virgo, and she's very maternal. I mean, very. She's so maternal. She tries to fucking mommy my kids, and I'm like, yo, sit down. Those are not your kids. Like, for real. Despite loving her children, she will struggle to cope with the mass noise that they create, and she will also crave some intellectual stimulus if she stays at home as a mother. But Virgos are so clean though, like they're not gonna allow. I don't know, maybe it's just the ones in my family. They're clean. They're always cleaning, and they don't let like kids do like messes and shit like that. Like my mother always constantly cleaned up after us. You know what I'm saying? And she would like do like little shit like, hey, let's clean together. Like she would play music and stuff, and we would clean all together. So I don't know. I feel like this is for like a specific set of them that can't control themselves. Maybe the unevolved kind, because my mother was a great mother. I'm not gonna lie. And this says basically that they struggle being mothers. Like I don't think so. At least my mother never struggled. But I think it has also to do with the other placements in your chart. The combination of being born into a mutable earth sign and being ruled by Mercury gives this woman a brain. She's smart and intelligent, and she's quickly frustrated if she isn't given the chance to put her skills to the test. Sometimes her sharp mental faculties can make less brainy people uncomfortable, at which some point she is quite likely to play down her abilities in case she gives the impression of being egotistical or too big for her boots. Sorry. Two character traits that make her shudder with horror. Yet, given her initiate modesty, she is unlikely to be ever guilty of them. All right. What are the two traits? Oh, ego. So the ego and stuff like that is one of the traits. Anyway, so we're gonna read my other one, cause yeah, my mother's a good mother. My mother, when I say my mother will fucking give me her whole bank account if I needed that shit, she definitely would. And she's a Virgo. Very good mother. I mean, to the point, I'm not just saying that because she's my mother, but I'm literally telling you the truth. So we're gonna talk about obviously y'all karma for Virgos, you know what I'm saying? Cause and your health aspects, right? So it says here the Virgo is a virgin, is a symbol of the virgin, meaning pure, perfect, and impeccable. This accurately reflects to both the nature and the body of those whose sun sign is a Virgo. They are perfectionists with an all consuming concern in matters of health, yet with bodies that often experience elimination problems. In their search for perfection, Virgo people are discriminatory and analytical. demanding accuracy and detail. They never cease striving for these qualities. Virgos make firm friends, often seeking to help others improve in their own lives. At times, this makes them appear critical, but rarely is there anything of their condemnatory. What the fuck is that? Condemnatory. Well, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Nature in their criticism. Anyway, I think they may have spelled that wrong, but I'm not a dictionary, so I don't fucking know. I know they're talking about condemning, okay? But it wrote condemnatory. I don't understand that. But anyways, moving on. We're not going to get stuck on that one line. As a rule, they are more critical of themselves than of others, for they recognize the perfection must develop from within. Virgos have a natural ability for healing, but must guard against becoming over anxious about their own health. Such anxieties can give rise to hypochondriacal tendencies, which it can result in morbidity and mild depressions. This negates the natural healing ability of their bodies, defeating their aim to improve the quality of life for all. Okay. The negative tendencies. Here we go, yo. Girl, hoarder, is you crazy? A Virgo would fucking panic, and my mother would have passed out. And she's a Capricorn moon. She would have had a fucking panic attack. Virgos cannot be around dirt. They don't like that shit. It's chaos because dirt represents chaos. And so they look at it as if your house is like that, your mental is like that. And that's what makes them freak out, and they don't like it because then they start to get nervous. It's like an anxiety type of thing. So your negative tendencies are, right? This tendency towards over anxiety is very prevalent with Virgos. People, yeah, they rarely have any real cause for worries. A similar response is also found in their work lives, where if compelled to accept considerable responsibility, they become apprehensive of their ability. This has the effect of undermining their self-conscious. Virgos work best under encouraging, appreciative direction, and they actively seek to become involved in work. But their striving for perfection can become quite obsessive. That is, until they sensibly become related into their practicalities. Virgos must guard against becoming emotional as a result of frustrations. I should have got my damn Stanley. For indeed, they will experience much frustration until moderation is learned. Some younger souls will be tempted to seek gratification through the sexual organs. Ooh, through sex. Ooh, y'all hear that shit? The immature Virgos. Hello, Kamari. Jeez. Excusing this desire for sensation as their right to love. Such justification might temporarily satisfy their ego, but their real motives never escape the Akashic records. That total karmic history of experiences transmuted through the high self. Their health aspects. Some schools of astrology relate the proactive organ to Virgo, but this can be misleading. Such a relationship only exists when Virgos live negatively and seek to escape the frustration that arises from the experiences intended to be their lessons. When living positive, Virgos actually place less emphasis on the sexual side of life than most people do. So the Virgos that are too much into sex are living negatively. It's like a karmic thing, apparently. Weird. It has to do with your solar plexus, right? The organs of the bodies most influenced by this sign are the solar plexus nerve region and the organs of elimination. So your bowels, your pores, and your nasal passages. The bowels and skin play a vital role in health of every person, but they are especially important for Virgo signs. There's a tendency for them to suffer from clogged pores, creating a dry and impeding elimination of toxic matter through perspiration. The skin's 7 million pores also regulate the body's temperature. That is true. My mother does have clogged pores. I always be getting her face stuff. This function too will be inhibited, when the pores are clogged by a thickening of skin tissue oil. The obstruction is caused by a deficiency in the mineral salt. Oh, Shama told my mother about this. Come on back. Yo, let me highlight this real quick. That is crazy. Cause my mother does have like I be buying her like mad expensive shit for her face. And I bought her literally, like, I'm not even guessing. I bought her $8,000 kit for like her face, right? Like a face kit. I don't know, she ain't use that shit. I bet you that shit's still in the box. Cause she has like blackheads and like on her nose area. Like I could tell her pores are clogged. She's not like me. I do my face all the time with mad shit, but it's because of a mineral deficiency. So if you find that you have blackheads and weird shit in your face, you're missing this salt. It's called Kali sulf, potassium sulfate. Okay. Those toxic wastes that the body cannot adequately eliminate by perspiring remain in your body and must then be processed by your respiratory and or your bowels, so either through your, obviously respiratory is your lungs, your nose and stuff like that, and your bowels, y'all know which bowels are. The blocking of the pores also tends to raise the body's temperatures, forcing it to work harder to process the waste matter. This double action further increases the body's temperature. Wow. Producing what we call colds. Oh, shit. So you know that your body's lacking this salt because your body's pores, basically it eliminates these problems, right? But if you have them clogged, you're going to get colds. You're going to get sluggish just from this lack of salt. And you're going to be like irritable bowel syndrome. That is crazy. That is nuts. So if you find yourself shitting a lot, my bad for my boy Crab. But y'all know this is a rated R channel. Somebody better be like, ew. Listen. Anyway. Sometimes this creates the feeling of suffocation with hot flushes and a craving for cold air. So you could feel like, you know how like when people have, what's that shit you get when you older? Yo, that shit where you're having hot flashes when you're like cold hot, menopause. So you could feel like you're having menopause. Other symptoms of impaired elimination are catarrhal and asthmatic congestion. No. Severe nerve pains in your region of your solar plexus, particularly painful for Virgo women during menopause. Dandruff, baldness, skin eruptions, and conjunctivitis. Conjunctivitis, isn't that for your eyes? Foods in which potassium sulfate occur naturally will greatly assist your body in cleansing. Okay? Those riches in the cell salts are green vegetables, especially Brussels sprouts and watercress. My mother loved Brussels sprouts, bro. Deep sea kelp powder and granules, raw hazelnuts, Brazil nuts, and chestnuts, all the expensive nuts. Don't play. Because Brazil nuts is like mad fucking expensive, y'all. Dry figs and raisins, avocados, carrots, corn. Corn's a starch, though. Anyway, and eggplants. Your karmic lesson, being born a Virgo, right? Being an earth sign, Virgo indicates the need for useful service to humankind, making it necessary for those born under this influence to acquire critical karmic lessons. Suitability achieved through the practice of healing or the arts. It must always be selfless service. They must learn that awareness cannot be achieved when undue emphasis is directed towards the physical body or its lusting for sensational involvements. Oh shit, y'all are fucked. Hey Giovanna, could you do me a favor? Can you grab me my Stanley so I could drink some water? Freedom, we must remember, is only achieved to the extent that the mind is free from ignorance and the emotions do not cloud sensitivity. So, for those of y'all that didn't catch that, I'm finna read it again. Suitability achieved through the practice of healing or arts. It must be always selfless service. Okay? That's how you cure your karmic nonsense that you may be going through. Okay? You must learn that awareness cannot be achieved when undue emphasis is directed towards the physical body or its lusting for sensational involvements. Freedom, we must remember, is only achieved to the extent that the mind is free from ignorance and the emotions do not cloud your sensitivity. All right, Joe, that is bananas. So if you find yourself out here fucking too much and not being spiritual, yeah, that's bad, because that is a negative tendency apparently. This is what happens when you're born under the virgin sign. You're not supposed to be virgins apparently. Let me stop. Let me go on to the next sign. Yikes. So for Libras. All right. Here we go with Libras. All right. So Librans are renowned for their charm, their refinement, and ability to get on well with almost everyone. They are diplomats of the zodiac with the deep need to create and maintain harmonious relationships, and many of them would rather be in a challenging relationship than on their own. One classic Liberian characteristic is indecisiveness, which can lead to too much dithering and anxieties. Okay. So how do you spot a Libra? You got nobody to fuck? That doesn't mean you don't want to fuck somebody, though. Libra is ruled by Venus, and like its cousin Taurus, it is said to be one of the most attractive signs of the zodiac. Libras certainly do their best to make this true by dressing in clothes that flatter them, taking trouble with their appearance, and making sure they smell delicious with the help of scents or aftershaves. The classic Libra face has soft, well-formed features, full lips, and according to tradition, dimples that appear when the Libras smile. As Libra likes to make a good impression, those dimples can appear quite often. However, Libra is one of the signs that can have difficulty keeping their weight under control. And what can be a pleasantly alluring figure in youth can turn into something rather more voluptuous with age, so y'all get fat. Even so, the Libras will do their best to disguise those extra pounds through sheer force of personality. Favorite Libra colors are pastel pinks, blues, with a dash of green. So obviously, you're an air sign. Your cardinal sign. Your ruler is Venus. Your day of the week is a Thursday. Your gemstone is sapphire. I fucking love that stone. Your top 10 traits are charming, tactful, equable, idealistic, intelligent, cooperative, sociable, considerate, indecisive, and you're gullible. Okay, so the Libra man, he's a smooth operator. This man has abundant charm and sex appeal, and he knows it. Even though he may appear modest and unassuming on the surface, he takes care over his appearance. Ugh. Doing his best to look as good as possible, not only for his own sake, but because he likes to give a favorable impression. I bet you y'all are players, because men that do this right here. Anyway, let me keep reading instead of talking shit. So then it talks about like certain people that are Libra men. Okay. Libra men whose looks have made them famous. Okay, so Michael Douglas, Matt Damon, Christopher Reeves, Will Smith, and Hugh Jackman are Libra men whose looks have made them famous. While some Libra men simply make sure that they are clean and relatively presentable, others have bathroom cabinets bursting with oils, potions, and colognes, and would never dare admit how much money they invest in their clothes and their shoes. In fact, the Libra man wants everyone to like him, and is a typical Liberian. He shouldn't have anything to worry about. He polishes his manners, courtesy, and intelligence means that he has a lot to offer. And even if he'll never be male model material, he will still have the indefinable, what? Indefinable. Okay, whatever the fuck. I think it's indefinable. Something that makes sense. That doesn't make sense. Oh God, he's a wow in the romance stakes too, because he's the sort of man who believes in love at first sight, living happily ever after, and finding his soulmate. He adores showering his beloved with romantic notes and gifts. So if your Libra ain't giving you shit, the motherfucker ain't into you. He's probably giving it to some other bitch, because that's a trait of theirs. Watch somebody be like, oh hell no. He sees nothing wrong in quoting or even writing you poetry. Oh, that's cute. We have his ruling planet as Venus to thank for all of this, as she endows him with sensitivity and refinement. However, his air element may prevent him from being able to talk about his emotions in great depth. He experiences them, but he will prefer to let poets, artists, and musicians express these feelings for him, because putting his emotions into his own words will make him feel horribly embarrassed. Such a knack for getting on the right side of others and staying there is very impressive. But if he becomes too slick and practical, it can begin to seem somewhat insincere. The Liberian ability to always say the right things can be also sound a hollow note. So basically, people look at them like they fake. If they like people look at them like they insincere and they're being fake. The Libra ability to always say the right thing can also sound a hollow note sometimes, even if it comes from their heart. This needs to create a peace and harmony, and can make Mr. Libra a bit of a pushover when dealing with someone who is determined to get their own way, because he is reluctant to create a scene and will try to be reasonable. Instead, he will only lose his temper or really stand up for himself if he feels that he's being backed up into a corner and no longer has anything to lose. Shit. That is what happened to Mahatma Gandhi when he reacted to the British rule of India by teaching nonviolent protest. Sometimes Libras are immensely powerful. So these are the men's, obviously. It says their planetary ruler is Venus, which endows many Libras with musical abilities. Whether they express it, who the fuck is outside? Is that Vanessa that's outside? Hold on a second, y'all. Somebody in my driveway. All right, what's the? I already did Gemini, Samantha. You gotta go back and look for them.
Did you do Capricorn?
I already did. I did. What?
Did you do Capricorn?
I did Aries to Leo. You just gotta scroll back to the other reading. So this is just a continuation from Virgo to thing. Virgo to Pisces. Who the hell was that was outside? You said it was the neighbors, right?
Yeah.
That fucking sound loud. It sounded like in my
It was
driveway.
a truck.
All right, anyways. My bad, y'all. So it says the planetary ruler of Venus endows many Libras with musical ability, whether they express this as a relaxing hobby or turn it into a career. However, their need for happy and successful relationship means that these Libras often fare best as part of their musical team. John Lennon had 2 major musical partnerships, each time with a fellow air sign. The first was with Gemini bandmate Paul McCartney, and the second was with his Aquarian wife Yoko Ono. I'm messing my stuff. You gotta look back. It was, I think, a few days ago, Samantha. It'll say it on their astrology chat. Stop touching my stuff, man. And then these are the women, right? So it says the Libra women, she's one of the most feminine signs of the zodiac, thanks to her ruling planet Venus and her desire to spread sweetness and light in all directions. You have only to look at some Libra women such as Gwyneth Paltrow and Julie Andrews to see how Venus can endow them with a wholesome, sweet, and gentle persona. Some of them look like China dolls, so fluffy, delicate, and fragile that a puff of wind would blow them over. And while some of them are certainly like that, you shouldn't be fooled. There is another side to Miss Libra. When going after what she wants, Miss Libra is a classic example of the iron hand in the velvet glove. The combination of her Venusian charm, intellect from her air elements, and the determination from her cardinal give her formidable talents. She can be much braver, much decisive, and more direct than her male counterparts, and is quite prepared to use her feminine charms. It was not done today or yesterday. It was done a few days ago. You got to look back into the videos. as a weapon of her arsenal, as Margaret Thatcher so ably proved. Bridget Bardot made her name as a sex symbol before becoming an outspoken and controversial champion of animal rights and much else besides. It is a true Libra style. Miss Libra needs a partner, or at least to be a part of a team, both professionally and personally. She isn't happy going alone, and her romantic soul is always looking for true love. If motherhood appeals, no matter how much she loves her children, she will need plenty of intellectual outlets, especially if she's a full time mother. This is a woman who loves exercising her brain and who needs plenty of opportunities to do so. Never underestimate her because there's a lot more to her than meets the eye. Yet she is very sensitive, even if she does her best to not show it. And her feelings are easily hurt. Okay. Libra is the sign of the scales, which indicates that the Libras need balance. Miss Libra certainly likes to have everything on an even keel if possible. But if life is too uneventful for too long, she will manage to stir things up. Even if she's not aware of doing so, just like Mr. Libra, she can be moody and changeable, and sometimes she's even difficult to please. It's often because she's feeling unpredictable. Sorry. So get ready with some heartfelt compliments. She always tries to win others round with flattery and charms. So make sure that she gets as good as she gives. It's the nicest way possible. Okay. Thank you, Dylan. Themis was a child of Uranus, who ruled heaven, and Gaia, who was Uranus's mother, ruled earth. And therefore, one of the Titans, she was goddess of justice and the law. And it is her scales of justice that are represented in the constellation of Libra. That is dope. Now we're going to tell y'all all the bad shit because y'all know, just like I tell you there about them, here comes all the bad shit. Yeesh. Balance is the most noteworthy endowment of the people born under the sign, which is symbolized by their scales. The natural inclination of Libras is gentleness, for they are very affectionate individuals with an intense desire to live in peace and harmony and to create such an atmosphere wherever they go. They become utterly disenchanted above all with dishonest people. You hear that? Don't be lying to them. They don't like that shit. I don't like it either. I ain't gonna lie. All right. So they become disenchanted above all with dishonest people in public office, finding it impossible to excuse any form of hypocrisy, meanness, or shallowness. Libras see marvelous perfection in nature, not the perfection of mathematical symmetry, but the beautiful symphony of the great struggle between the material universe and the nature working towards order. They especially adore bloodshed and violence of any type. Abhor bloodshed and violence of any type. For such transgression threatens balance and often offends beauty. Oh shit. So then, oh man, I don't know how you gonna be with no Scorpio because we like some scary shit. We like watching scary stuff. We want to see Saw. We want to see Freddy Krueger. Y'all don't like that. Right here it says you do not like that because it is not pretty. It says they abhor bloodshed and violence of any type. Well, goddamn. Sheesh. Oh, man. Libras are blessed with a highly perceptive insight and keen sense of justice, a combination that predisposes them to expressions of frankness, often more forthright than flattering. It must be realized that they intend no personal matters by their directness, but rather seek to correct anything they consider undesirable or outside of the appropriate order of things. This is very true about the gore shit. Let me tell y'all why. I know somebody has a Libra moon, and he's always telling me, hey, why don't you put on, like, he always tries to, like, when he see me watching gore shit, he'd be like, yo, why don't you put on a comedy movie? And I'm like, I don't want to see nobody fucking laughing, acting goofy and shit. And he's like, but you would rather see somebody getting their throat ripped open. Like, I was watching Terrifier, and he walked in my house. He said, nope, I'm leaving. I was like, it's just a movie. And he was like, that shit is disgusting. This makes sense. Negative tendencies. All right. So Libra's negative tendencies. It will be surprising for many people who know Libras to learn that they are naturally peaceful. That's true. That is true. Gentle and affectionate beings. Often negative Libras express themselves in emotional, tempestuousness, recklessness, and sometimes downright aggressiveness. So the unevolved ones act the fuck out. They also succumb to sexual excess with their health. Ew, it's unsettled. Ew. They also succumb to sexual excess when their health is unsettled. So the unevolved ones have a lot of sex as well, apparently. Okay. But it must be emphasized that this is not the natural portrait of a Libra, nor of any well-balanced person. Oh shit. Okay, I get what they're saying. So basically, even if you're not a Libra, if you have these traits, you're not balanced. I got that. A natural balance of expression is precociously dependent upon the body's chemical balances. And when this becomes upset by acid irritations, the brain, nerves, and your muscles are directly affected. Such internal disharmonies introduce actions that are actually in conflict with your individual's real nature. So they may be tense, excitable, aggressive, or even suicidal. Whoa, in confusion. Rarely are they aware that internal disharmony is frequent, causing of such attitudes. Therefore, they are not easily convinced that their diet has more influence over their emotions than the environmental factors they refer to. Blame such as the weather, the politicians, the spouse, and so on. So they blame everything else except for like fixing their diet because their body's out of whack and shit. So here's their karmic lessons. Yo. Yeesh. All right. Well, first we're gonna no. Before we go to the karmic, we're gonna talk about your health. Because I think this is important because obviously saying that your health throws you out of whack. All right. So hyperacidity in these days of highly processed and non-nutritious food is far from uncommon. God, everything is fucking trash out here. We're gonna be dead unless you grow your own shit. Most people live it, believing it to be their natural conditions. Consequently, most people tend to be emotionally unstable, easily irritated, and readily aggressive. But when this condition prevails for Libras, the departure from their normal and natural modes of expression become extreme. Ooh. And critical, interferes with their basic purpose of their life. Yo, sir, your fucking diet. Y'all need to watch what you eating, man. No bueno. One of the most alkalizing of the mineral cell salts required by your body is the NADPHOS, sodium phosphate. A vital role of this nutrient is to restore your body's chemical balances with its strongly alkaline. Not only must Libras ensure that their diet includes rich foods in this mineral salt, but they should also minimize, preferably avoid, highly processed acid forming foods. God, don't eat. Just eat fruits and vegetables if y'all can't, because cold cuts is bad. Acid stuff, like what the fuck? There's a lot of stuff that have that. Pepperonis are bad for you. No bueno. Don't eat that shit. Just saying. Yo. All right. So it says on here. So diets such as white flour and white sugar products, canned foods, carbonated beverages, tea, and coffee, and so on. Take them out of your diet. I told you just gotta eat fruits and vegetables because at the end of the day, you can't eat shit that is anything in the store. Like nothing on the shelves that you see in boxes. You ain't supposed to touch that. Nothing in canned foods, no carbonated beverages, so like no soda, no salsa water, none of that bullshit. No coffee, which damn near a lot of people like to drink coffee. That shit is bad for you. I've always said coffee was bad for you. My mother be guzzling that shit down. I'll be telling her that shit is so bad for you, bro. And tea, apparently tea, I like tea though. Shit. Apparently you can't drink no motherfucking tea because it forms acid in your body. White flour is bad. So is motherfucking white sugar. Y'all already know. So that shouldn't be too hard for you to get off of. But remember, You got cakes, cookies, motherfucking anything that's baked with white sugar. You can't eat shit. You gotta eat, yeah, you do gotta eat clean. You gotta eat clean. So it's basically saying here, foods that are rich in natural sodium phosphate in order of concentrations are egg yolks, raw salad vegetables, especially celeries, sprouts, beetroot, and carrots. All the nasty shit. I ain't even gonna lie. I don't fuck with celery unless I have some blue cheese. I ain't touching you. Sprouts, I don't fuck with. Beetroot, I hate that shit. My mother used to give me that when I was a kid. Y'all be so surprised. I grew up vegetarian for most of my life, and then I got pregnant and ate meat for the first time. Terrible, right? Dried fruits, especially figs, raisins, and sultanas. Sunflower seeds, kernels, raw and sprouted. Okay, so here, your fresh fruits. You're supposed to eat fruits. You're supposed to eat like really clean with your diets. Nothing. So basically, like everything that grows from the ground that hasn't been processed is what you're supposed to stick in your body. Fresh fruits also excellent alkalizing fruit and natural source of high energy. Fruit sugar, fructose. Each day would be a brighter one if it began with a fresh fruit salad. You hear that? Y'all asses are supposed to wake up to eating a fresh fruit salad. All right. A daily vegetable is also indispensable to a Libra to help them to maintain the proper chemical balances. Without such a diet, the body will manifest many of the following uncomfortable symptoms of hyperacidity, foul breath, pimples, skin irritations, frontal headaches, often with a feeling of intense cranial pressure. Oh, fuck no, that sounds like a migraine. Scabby ears that might emit a creamy discharge. That made me physically sick. Ew, what? That sounds disgusting. Oh, God. Oh my God. That may emit a creamy discharge and feel constantly hot, ulcers, and canker sores. Oh, Jesus. Y'all, I'm about to be sick. This is gross. Fuck, man. All right. Rheumatism, diarrheas, and occasional convulsions, especially in children. Parents will also notice that the child will grind their teeth in their sleep, and the upper gastrointestinal tract is also acidic, so you'll have heartburn. Okay. This is often an indication of insufficient fresh fruits and vegetables in your diet. Bodily organs that are especially sensitive for Libras are their kidneys, their bladders, and their adrenal glands. In fact, the entire pelvic region must be carefully looked after to avoid prolapsed organs. Keep the abdominal muscles in good tone through exercises. The lumbar region of the spine is also highly sensitive. Lumbago and rheumatism are not uncommon for Libra energies. Crazy. Oh, this is my special book. I don't tell people what this book is. Remember I told y'all there's some books I don't share, y'all. This is one of the books I don't share. That's why I haven't told y'all what it is. This is the Karmic Lessons, y'all. Oh, shit. People born under the sign of Libras are rarely content to pass through life without a marriage partner. Okay. For them, the pairing of a male with a female is natural for personal balance and wholeness, as the marital partner serves to supply a counterbalance for the other limitations. It is through such companionship, as well as though comradeship with others met as they travel through their lives, that Libras discover their meaning of sisterhood, sharing and expanding their awareness of life purposes for themselves and humankind. Sisterhood also teaches emotional controls to those Libras who are motivated by the negative tendencies of their jealousies, their resentments, and their similarly unbalanced attitudes. Yo! Crazy. Whoa. Okay, so y'all suffer from a lot of shit. We're just moving on. We're not going to talk about it. We'll leave it alone. Scorp gang. Oh. Listen. I read this beforehand, but I ended up deleting it, so I'm going to redo the Scorpio one. But this shit is treacherous. I'm just going to say that. For Scorpios, it's crazy. Just leave it right there. And then I'll do a separate video for those of y'all that may have your kids in certain signs. I will read specifically on the children so you know how to be a better parent, how to raise a child of a specific sign. Because obviously, unless you know you can't have any kids, you may want to know about your children, why they act the way they do, how you can make them better adults so that they don't suffer in life when they get older, things like that. Just saying. All right, so let's go to Scorpio. All right, so it says, where force is necessary, one should make sure of its boldly, resolutely, and right to the ends. But it is as well to know the limitations of force, to know where to blend force with maneuver, assaults with conciliation. What the fuck that meant? Anyway. Scorpio is the most powerful, enigmatic, and intense sign of the entire zodiac. Like an iceberg, there is a lot going on under the surface of a Scorpio, but they will do their best to keep much of this to themselves and their inner workings hidden from views. As far as this very secretive and private sign is concerned, it's safer that way. It is, but damn, y'all are really trying to play us calling us an iceberg. That's crazy. How to spot a Scorpio. Scorpios like to make an impact, but they do it in an idiosyncratic and rather enigmatic way. At times, they come across as forceful and powerful, liking to be noticed wearing clothes that are designed to attract attention. And others occasions, they prefer to keep a low profile, almost as though they don't want to be seen. And may even wear a pair of sunglasses as protection from the world. A Scorpio will dress to impress. Oh, shit. Often with rather formal outfits and beautifully tailored suits, and particularly likes clothes in black and burgundy. They can look very good on leather or suede too. Most Scorpios have black or dark brown hair, and their eyes are very noticeable, often with a piercing gaze. It is as though they can see straight through your soul. Oh, we can, bitch. The fuck? Straight through your soul to the real you. We can. Which can be a disconcerting experience. Scorpio women are vital in youth, but can gain weight later on in years. And Scorpio men are typically stocky and muscular. Damn, we do struggle from that. I'm not gonna lie, because I do need to lose some damn weight. I've been trying. Shit. Scorpio's vital statistics is water. Their fixed sign, their planet ruler is Pluto. Their colors is dark reds. Their day of the week are Tuesdays. Their stones to empower them is an opal. Their top 10 traits is they're faithful, they're strong-willed, they're controlled, they're dramatic, they're compulsive, they're powerful, they're intense, they're jealous, they're suspicious, and manipulative. That is crazy. The Scorpio man, now y'all already know. Yes, I'm a Scorpio, but I can't defend my counterparts, just like y'all can't defend y'all counterparts either. Okay, some of these Scorpios that have not evolved be out here doing the most, y'all. I'm telling you. So listen, because the men are not the women. Okay, the Scorpio men, they're a very cool customer. He knows what he wants, he knows how to get it, and he also knows how to disguise his intentions so he can keep them hidden from the rest of the world. This man likes to play his cards close to his heart, particularly because he has a limited amount of trust in other people and firsthand knowledge of how treacherous they can sometimes be. And partly because life is so much more easier if he can do things in the way he wants and release information on a strictly need-to-know basis. It saves so much trouble and arguments. Emotions go very deep in a Scorpio man. You can thank his water sign and ruling planet Pluto for that. He feels things with great intensity, but you may have to wait for hell to freeze over before he opens up. That is crazy. And confides in you about what exactly it is that he's feeling. That makes a lot of sense. But for hell to freeze over, I don't know, because I've made plenty of Scorpios talk to me and they've been male. So maybe they just feel more comfortable with their counterparts. I don't fucking know. After all, he is the most private man in the zodiac and also one of the most self-contained. So you can take it as a tremendous compliment if he ever spills the beans to you about his innermost emotions. Well, I guess I'm going to take it as a compliment. Generally speaking, he is much happier keeping them a secret. They do tend to be very secretive, the men. Yet it is essential for him to find some constructive outlets for his feelings. Otherwise, those years of bottled up emotions, turbulence can wreak havoc. Actually, they can cause problems even when Mr. Scorpio makes the most of his water element's creativity. Dylan Thomas, Richard Burton, and Evelyn Vaughn all struggled with their inner demons. Regardless of what he does for a living, Mr. Scorpio exudes power. He needs to be in control in some way, even if he is a lowly employee. What is it? Hold on a minute, y'all. My daughter calling me. My bad. He needs to be a boss in his family too, with a tendency to lay down the law, even if it's done for the very best motives. What he must guard against is letting his desire for control turn into obsessive need to call the shots and be the kingpin, because that can lead to very ruthless behavior. Like the opposite number, Taurus, some Scorpio men can become so in love with power, not to mention the conviction that they have the right to tell others what to do. Think about Puff Daddy, just saying. That it completely affects their lives and those of the people around them. The list of such men is long and includes Joseph Goebbels, Oswald Mosley, and Leon Trotsky. Of course, most Scorpio men never take things to such extremes, but they still need to know that they're the ones who wear the pants, especially at home. Scorpio is the sign that rules life and death, and some Scorpio men have dedicated their lives to the subject. Dr. Christian Bernard, November 8, 1922, holy Christ, was a pioneering South African cardiac surgeon who performed the world's first human heart transplant in 1967. The Irish writer Bram Stoker, I like Bram Stoker, tackled life and death in complementary different ways when he wrote about vampires in his 1897 novel Dracula. Reverend Chad Vara, November 12, 1911, expressed yet another aspect of life and death in 1953 by founding the Cemeterians, a UK charity that helps people who are emotionally distressed or at risk of committing suicide. Holy shit, that's crazy. So famous Scorpio men right now, they don't have Puff Daddy in here, but he should be in, maybe not. Anyway, let's move on. Bill Gates, John Keats, Alice Laurie, Davis Schmeiser, Albert Camus, George Patton, Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert Louis Stevenson, and Gerald Nehru, Martin Scorsese. For the women, here we go, y'all. We ain't the same. Listen to what we are, okay? The Scorpio women, you know what they say about still waters running deep, and they don't come any deeper than those that run through a Scorpio woman. She is a complicated combination of emotions, determination, willpower, and intensity, which means you are never quite sure what you're going to get from her. That is definitely true. You're like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. I always tell my partner that. Sometimes she is ultra feminine and sweet natured, but then her emotional weather vane swings from around and she becomes steely, calculating, and utterly driven. When she is in that sort of a mood, she can move mountains and get her point across with a few well chosen words. She certainly is a powerful proposition, and some Scorpio women have become famous for their ability to hold their own in a man's world. Take Hillary Clinton, who switched from being America's first lady to the successful politician in her own rights. Anna Wintour, one of the most high-powered magazine editors in the world, and Indira Gandhi, who twice served as India's prime minister in 1911. Marie Curie was awarded her second Nobel Prize. She shared the first for physics with her husband, and the second for chemistry was solely hers. Her fixed elements and her water sign make Miss Scorpio intensely loyal. She will stick by you through endless crisis, giving good advice and making things happen if that's what's necessary. Sometimes she has a tendency to take control simply because she thinks she has a better idea of what to do than other people. However, her fidelity is unconditional, and if you betray or hurt her too bad, she will cut you out of her life in an almost surgical precision. Very true. I've done this. I've cut people off like that. Although Mrs. Scorpio is emotionally driven water sign, motherhood does not always come easy to her as her Cancerian and Pisces sisters. She will, though, and her children, but she will need other things in life besides being a full-time mother. One thing she must guard against is being so concerned about her kids' welfare that she continuously tells them what to do. Oh God, I do this all the time. That's not a lie. But it's because you don't need to fall through a rock to know that there is a hole there. If I tell you there's a hole there, you should listen. You don't have to go through there. You know what I'm saying? Like my mother always says, a fool is that one that has to experience instead of listening and learning, right? You don't got to be a fool. If I'm telling you it's dangerous, bitch, it's dangerous. Just listen and that's it. It can be looked at as controlling, apparently, according to this book. Shit. Anyway, if this carries on for too long, it can be domineering, and she may gradually erode her children's initiative because she expects them to obey her orders, like what I just said, and instructions rather than to think for themselves or make the sort of mistakes that add to their experience of life. You don't need to make mistakes in order to learn in life. You don't. You don't need to fucking be in an abusive relationship to know that you don't want somebody to hit you. Like that just doesn't make any sense. But anyway, life will be much easier for everyone if Miss Scorpio can relax. Like hell no, we don't have to relax. Shit. We just don't want our kids to suffer because that's an extension of us. Why would we want our kids to suffer? The fuck? Anyway, characteristics. Here we go. So as the last sign, the middle line of emotions and feelings, Scorpio relates to the most sensitive parts of the body, that is the reproductive organs. Hence, so much of the expression of those born under this sun sign has its motivation related to sex and secrecy. So isn't I think Beyonce is a Scorpio moon, isn't she? Y'all, I could be confusing it. I think she is. I think she's a Virgo and a Scorpio moon, if I'm not losing my mind. I know she got Scorpio somewhere in that bitch. I'm pretty sure it's her moon. Or her Venus. Man, it can be. Let me look this shit up. God damn it. I'm gonna look it up in a minute once I'm done reading this. Okay, so hence so much of the expression of those born under the sun sign has its motivation related to sex and secrecy. The men are more sexually oriented than the women of Scorpio and are therefore much more emotional. The women are more able to contain their emotions and to direct their energies into healing and creativity. Both men and women have powerful determination and the ability to hide turbulent emotions beneath a facade of apparent calmness. Both are skillful with their hands, a special quality. When related to their natural healing abilities, explains why many are found in the field of health. Both the men and the women make excellent magnetic healers, chiropractors, and osteopaths. Those who prefer the more conventional aspects of healing arts gravitate towards surgery and medicines. Their natural sensitivity gives these people reliable, intuitive guidance when they are in command of their emotions. Their love of secrecy translates their power into successful professional conduct. Crazy. Okay. What's up, Kristen? I'm pretty sure Beyonce's, I think she's got either the moon or the thing. I think it's a Scorpio, if I'm not losing my damn mind. Ha! See it? I don't know if y'all can see that shit. Oh, fuck me. It says Beyonce's moon sign is a Scorpio. Told y'all. I knew it. All right. So their negative tendencies. Strap your boots up, y'all. Being so impressionable and sensitive, Scorpios must guard against losing command of their feelings and becoming negatively emotional. So when they disrespectful and shit like that and throwing a temper tantrum, yeah. That's losing control of your emotions, okay? Scorpio women are far more capable of controlling their emotions in early life than the men of this sign. Both can, however, achieve successful self mastery during their years of maturity, though this often has to be forced upon them by necessary emotional lessons involving their hearts. So they have to go through heartbreaks, which is already a bad karma in itself, because why the fuck do we need to go through heartbreaks? Right? So we're doomed just by being a Scorpio. These demanding trials are required for the sole purpose of directing their steps further along the paths towards perfection. During their period of emotional adolescence, some Scorpios can become so disturbed that for a time they appear quite bitter and cruel, unreliable and erratic. This is not their true nature, as is evident when personal maturity evolves from self-discipline. Men take longer to achieve this maturity than the women do. The reason why marriage between two Scorpios is rarely successful, because the men don't grow up and the women do. The women evolve faster than the men. The men are still stuck on the maturities and shit, like their mature traits, and that's why they can't be with the women. Sucks. A note of warning must be given here for Scorpio men. If too much emphasis is directed towards the carelessness of abuse of sex, careless abuse of sex, meaning you fuck too many bitches. That's what this means. Okay? That's literally what it means. Nervous energy can become seriously depleted. This will be particularly noticeable in your lower limbs, for the sciatic nerves are the most vulnerable, resulting innervation can be predisposed towards painful physical constrictions, such as stiffness of your legs and your thighs, curvature of the spine, paralysis, premature old age, and senility. Stop fucking. That's not what you're supposed to use your energy for. Because, you know what I'm saying? We have a power down there. We're ruled by that. So you just can't be blessing every hoe with your dick, even though y'all like that. But that's not what you're supposed to do. I'm telling you. Y'all need to, first of all, this is bad enough, this health shit that you can get from being records. But let's talk about the demons of these people y'all are fucking. Because y'all are not fucking good women or saints. Scorpio men that are unevolved are never attracted to women that are good. They're always attracted to women that are all over the fucking place. They're dysfunctional. And when you sleep with someone, no matter who it is, they have spiritual demons. You should not just lay in bed with just anybody. And it doesn't matter what sign it is, honestly. Anybody. This is advice for anybody, okay? That's a spiritual thing when you sleep with somebody. All right, so here's your health aspects. We have already considered some pathological problems affecting Scorpio people as a consequence of their negative living. These are mostly related to the reproductive organs because they are the most sensitive organs in a Scorpio anatomy. Scorpio people have to learn that this region of the body is intended primarily for the begetting of children and for spontaneous physical expression of overwhelming love between two people. What the fuck I just said? What I just said. It's a spiritual thing when you have sex. Bah! And the book said it too. You're not just supposed to be like, oh my God, that slut is fine. Let me go stick my dick in her. No, sir. Put your shit back in your pants. That's not what the fuck you're supposed to do. That's why y'all get punished with bad health, because y'all use your energy bad. Yep. Yeah, fucking do. All right. So basically it's telling you like you're only supposed to have sex if you're gonna make a child, or like if it's someone that you know what I'm saying, like you're supposed to, it's like someone that you really, really love. Like obviously your wife would be someone you really, really love, or someone that you've been with for a long time, but you can't just keep like hopping from hoe to hoe to hoe to hoe, have a roster, have like mad bitches. That's not what you're supposed to do. Okay. It should not be regarded as a regular playground for overstimulated desires. There you go. The book said it better in an eloquent way. The Kundalini, or divine creative force with humans, cannot be expressed creatively upward and for procreation downward or sexually at the same time. When too frequently involved in proactive expression, the Kundalini draws heavily upon the blood's vitality, resulting in the deficiency of the mineral biochemical salt important to Scorpios is calcium sulfate. Okay. Even if sexual expression is not actually practiced, but is suppressed, almost as much bodily depletion will result. So it's not that they're not telling you not to have sex, it's just that they're telling you not to overdo it. I'm not telling you to go fucking be a monk in you know, you know what a monk's at, or not to join the church. I'm not telling you that. The natural alternative is creative expression. The elevation of the Kundalini into practical service for the betterment of life. So absorbed are the enlightened Scorpios in the creativity that they must take care not to overdo their enthusiasm and drain their nervous systems in this direction by long hours of work with inadequate periods of relaxation. Symptoms of depleted calcium sulfate can be recognized in the body as a burning sensation in your feet, your anus, your stomach, your throat, or your mouth. Sometimes as stomach ulcers, slowly healing wounds, skin ailments, and pimples. I ain't had none of these shits, but I mean, I do be getting heartburn, so maybe that's an ulcer. Who the fuck knows? I don't fucking know. Loose bowels, you get diarrhea, so IBS bullshit. Not necessarily diarrhea, so IBS. Loose bowels is IBS. Like, can't they didn't write IBS, they just wrote loose bowels. But if y'all know what IBS is, basically like if you eat something that's bad, it'll send you to the bathroom. Okay. So loose bowels, not necessarily diarrhea, can also be a result of insufficient dietary calcium. Further evidence of deficiency can be recognized in outward emotional agitations, even before it becomes a source of discomfort within the body. So you'll notice a Scorpio is deficient in this salt when they start acting fucking crazy. Foods offering important sources of natural calcium sulfate and which should be included in the regular diets are natural cheeses. I can't fuck with cheese. I'm lactose. I ain't touching that. Y'all would think that I would listen. I ate 2 pizzas earlier. I don't give a fuck. I be eating cheese anyway, even though I'm lactose. All green vegetables, especially watercress and parsley, molasses, but only for the people who do not eat sufficient salads. Molasses is good. I'm going to incorporate that because I don't eat salads like that. Raw unsalted nuts, especially Brazil nuts, dried figs, raw fresh egg yolks, sunflower seeds, kernels raw and sprouted. Molasses for the females is very good for your hair. It makes your hair so strong and it makes it grow. It's a very good protein for your hair. I'm telling you, like if y'all put that shit in your hair, you're gonna thank me later. Trust me. Just put it in your shampoo. Your karmic lesson. It may seem incongruous that the sign of Scorpio is one of the middle line of emotions and feelings. Yet it is one of the water signs, triplicity, which indicates that the general lesson of peace. This indicates that all of these signs that are born under the influence of a Scorpio have the most difficult lesson. Do y'all hear that? We are the only ones in the entire zodiac that are fucked. Do you hear what this bullshit just said? If you didn't catch it, I'm going to read it again. All right. Jesus, man. It might seem incongruous that the sign of the Scorpio is the one on the middle line of emotions and feelings. Yet it is one of the water triplicity, which indicates the general lesson of peace. This indicates that of all the signs, those born under the influence of Scorpio have the most difficult lesson. The lesson of attaining peace through mastery of passions and the positive direction of Kundalini energy. We're fucked because we're ruled by the vagina and the penis, obviously. Shit, I know this is not my problem. I know I've mastered this, so I already passed my karmic lesson because I know when to balance and when not. And I don't fuck around. I don't give my pussy to just anybody. I'm very spiritual when it comes to that, so I ain't got this worry at all. But y'all need to listen, obviously. People are not only born under this sign when such a need has been karmically established, but also when their latent ability of healing has to be developed as a positive force in bringing bodily harmony to humankind. You need to balance your Kundalini energy. So remember, stop fucking everything that moves. You're only supposed to have sex to create children, meaning your wife, motherfuckers. That's what that means. But y'all seen that the women is not the same thing as the men, so obviously we ain't gonna move the same way. It even says it on here that the women are more mature than the men are, which is why it's a problem for them to be married together because the men don't evolve like the women do. They take a long time to grow up. So that's a problem. But listen to me well. Fucking too much is gonna cause you health problems. You should incorporate this salt. It's called Cal Salt. All right. And I already told y'all how to put this shit in your diet in case if you can't find this calcium sulfate. Okay. You'll notice that you're lacking it because your feet will start to burn. You'll feel burning in your feet and your butt. You know what your anus is, I hope. If not, Google it. Your stomach. Okay. Your throat. So acid reflux, that type of shit. Your mouth area, like you'll get like sores and shit like that, and pimples. You'll also be slow to heal and you'll be getting the shits. So get your shit together, y'all. All right. So we done with Scorp. We're gonna go to Sagittarius. All right, for the Sag. Sagittarius is the third and the last of the fire signs. Sagittarians are free spirited, freedom loving, and are born with a strong sense of adventure. Some of them express this through travels and an action packed life, while others prefer to let their minds do the traveling so that they are always learning something new. First of all, I don't know if I told y'all this before, but in case if y'all wasn't here before, um, the signs have a wheel, okay? And so they're decadents. They're called decadents, okay? And so they fall into several like it's the people that you meet. So like let's say a Sagittarius, it'll be three different types of them. So for the Sagittariuses, you have the ones that have Sun in Leo 20 degrees, Mars in Aries 10 degrees, and Jupiter Sagittarius in 0 degrees. So they're all different. They're not going to be the same. Even though these are their traits, they won't react the same. So when people go, oh my God, all Sagittarius are hoes. Maybe you met some that were in a specific decadent, but can't really throw everybody in a box and call them rats. Just saying, right? How to spot a Sagittarius. Sagittarius is sometimes described as the eternal student, and many Sagittarians certainly like to maintain this casual and relaxed image throughout their lives. They prefer jeans to suits, for instance, or wear floaty ethnic clothes with a distinct 60s influence. The fact is that Sagittarians are independent and love their freedom, so they aren't interested in clothes that constrain or limit them in any ways. They prefer easy care clothes, such as sweaters that can sling around their shoulders and shirts that don't need immaculate ironing. Favorite colors are purple and turquoise. I love turquoise, yo. And they love sophisticated patterns such as paisley. If they do have to get dressed up, they are quite likely to change back into something more comfortable at the first moment. The typical Sagittarian is tall with a lean, rangy body, long legs, and a loping stride. Their hair has reddish highlights, and they often have wide, generous mouths with ready smile. They're fire, they're mutable, they're Jupiter, the color is purple. The day of the week is Thursday. The gemstone is turquoise. The top 10 traits, they're optimistic, they're good humor, they're generous, they're exuberant, open minded, philosophical, sagacious, blunt, honest, and overblown. Okay. The Sagittarius male. Life is never dull when a Sagittarius man is around. He won't let things get boring, and his antics are often designed to raise a smile at the very least, if not a full blown belly laugh. In fact, he's one of the liveliest signs of the zodiac. Ooh. Thanks to the winning combination of his fire element, his ruling planet Jupiter, and his mutable quality, fire gives him his eagerness, and never ending enthusiasm, not to mention his ability to bounce back from problems like one of those self writing children toys. Jupiter, the gas giant that is the biggest planet in our solar system, gives him his expansiveness, self belief, and good humor, and his mutable makes him changeable and interested in many different ideas and activities. Put all those ingredients together, and you have the recipe for somebody who can be larger than life. Mr. Sagittarius can also have a high opinion of himself, and if often allowed, will fully reign. He can become rather grandiose, with a tendency to exaggerate his exploits and overdo things. Happily, his infectious sense of humor usually catches up with him and helps him to see the funny side of his behavior. Laughter is never far away for a Sagittarius man. Some members of this sign, such as the clown Joseph Grimaldi and stand-up comedians Richard Pryor and Billy Connolly, have made a career of this sense of humor. Others who have combined humor with writing, which is another Sagittarian talent, include Woody Allen, Bill Bryson, Mark Twain, Jonathan Swift, and Noel Coward. Optimism is a classic Sagittarian characteristic, and Mr. Sagittarius' glass is almost always half full. He may take the odd nosedive into the doom and gloom, but he is soon resurfacing because he believes that life is worth enjoying. Mr. Sagittarius does his best to make sure to make the most of every day. How he manages this, it's simple. He loves a challenge. It can be minor or major, but he revels in the setting his sights on something that he can achieve, and he's especially motivated if he is chosen what seems like a mission impossible to everyone else. After all, his sign is represented by a centaur aiming an arrow at the far horizons. If he fails to hit the mark, Mr. Sagittarius will simply try again until he finally feels he is getting somewhere. Of course, there is always the chance that he won't complete his ambition because he'll be sidetracked by different enthusiasm that springs up out of the blue and grabs his imagination. Never mind, he'll think it'll all be good experience, and it will certainly give him something interesting to talk about next time he holds courts. So Sagittarius has three decadents. Remember I told y'all that, of 10 degrees each. People born in the first decade have a strong philosophical and optimistic character. Those born in the second decade are subruled by Aries and Mars, making them impulsive and direct. Those born in the third decade show their pride and self assurance of their subrulers of Leo the Sun. Oh, boy, y'all, moment. The Sagittarius woman. Okay. This is often a tomboyish quality to Miss Sagittarius, although she may love getting dressed up in a ultra feminine outfit every now and then. At heart, she's happiest in her most comfortable clothes and with the wind blowing through her hair. She may even be a bit of a tomboy throughout her life, welcoming the chance to climb trees or mess about in boats, whether she's 6 or 60. In true Sagittarian style, she seeks freedom and independence, and that includes being free to do and say what she likes when she likes. However, her tendency to say the first thing that comes into her head can test the thickness of the skin of whomever is on the receiving end of the impulsive words. That makes sense because I got Sagittarius on my chart and I do be just saying what the fuck I feel like saying. Because Miss Sagittarius prides herself on her honesty, this can result in anything from an endearing foot in the mouth syndrome to the sort of ferocious bluntness that can cause cringing all around. Oh well. Miss Sagittarius will apologize and laugh it off, but deep down she won't understand what the fuss was about. After all, she'll remind herself she was telling the truth. I say that all the time. I do this, what they're saying. And what's wrong with that? I got Sagittarius in my chart and I act just exactly what they just said. Her reverence for words often spills over into a strong writing ability, in which case she follows in with the footsteps of such Sagittarian women such as Nancy Mitford, Willa Cather, and Frances Hodgson Burnett. Sagittarians are both sexes like to rush into situations, and this gives Miss Sagittarius a tendency to be accident prone. It's not because of the lack of grace so much as her impatience to get on with things. And the hastiness can result in anything from chipped crockery to old bruises. Ugh. But she won't mind this because she's used to it. So y'all tend to get hurt because you rush into shit. Not good. Other people may prefer that she doesn't help with the washing up in case of breakages. Her approaches to domesticity can be equality, hit or miss. So you basically, yeah, you shouldn't help nobody. Just stay your ass out of the kitchen or anywhere you can break some shit. It says sometimes she delights in doing cooking and cleaning, but these household phases rarely last long because boredoms kick in. So the rest of the family has to learn to fend for themselves. Yo, why I was telling my daughter this shit earlier. I literally told my daughter, "What am I, Molly the maid?" This is fucking funny. Oh god, this makes a lot of sense. My god, as Miss Sagittarius will remind her as she breezes out of the door, she has more interesting things to do with her life than dusting. Her fine element gives her warmth and affection, but she isn't overly maternal and may think seriously about what she sees as sacrifices that motherhood entails. If she does have children, she'll adore telling them exciting stories and encouraging them to explore the world. Her greatest gift will be to instill in them some of her own sense of adventure, independence, and thirst of knowledge, as well as her love for reading. Makes sense. That's just hilarious. Oh my god. So here is for Sagittarius, particularly characteristics of the healthy Sagittarians in their cheerful, gregarious manner. They're exceptionally good natured people who are always fond of company and involvement in physical activity, yet they rarely allow people to get close to them, preferring to maintain a safe distance to ensure their personal freedom. This independence is vital to them, and in turn, they respect its need in other people's lives. Their delight in physical activity extends to many different sports, but especially those that involve marked athletic abilities. Sagittarians invariably possess very strong thighs and can actually move fast on their feet. This, coupled with their gregarious, indicates why they are more interested in travel and constant movements than they are static security or deep mental contemplations. When young, they tend to shy away too much from their responsibilities, but are prepared to accept their share as they mature. Sagittarians have a deep compassion for all living creatures. They also have a deep nature love of philosophy, which they should develop to better understand the purpose of life. Their responsiveness to laws, those of humanity and spirit, invariable results in their accepting both without questions or objections. A noteworthy metaphysical quality possessed by a Sagittarius is their prophetic ability to foresee certain events. Oh, y'all bitches is psychic like Scorpios. You could see the future. Again, it makes sense because I see shit. So I have Sagittarius in my chart, y'all. These sometimes manifest in their dreams, but do not always involve them personally. However, disbelief and discouragement when they are young invariably causes them to disregard this faculty. So basically, people telling you that you lying makes you feel like, like you disregard it. You know what I'm saying? Like you let go of that ability. So you guys have an ability, spiritual ability. That's crazy. Okay. If nurtured, You listen to what this says, because your parents tell you you're crazy and shit like that. Just like Scorpio has in their stuff. If nurtured, their ability could develop into a powerful endowment, providing considerable benefit to many. Ah, you have to have good parents for this type of shit though. Because when your kids start telling you they seen dead people or they can see what's gonna happen with others, your parents have to be good parents enough to believe you and encourage you so that you can help other people in the future. Negative tendencies to be surmounted. The desire for constant change can certainly lead into many and varied avenues of learnings. But if allowed to persist unchecked, it produces a taxing of mental faculties. Concentration and patience will be weakened unless self control is adequately exercised. One of the most successful methods to achieve this is by emphasizing accuracy in action. Accuracy is an excellent exercise in care, control, and close mental application. Without the acknowledgement and practice of this, the Sagittarius can easily become motivated by idle desires and whim, experiencing much frustration and ultimately loneliness. Oh no, no bueno. Symptoms of deterioration will often appear as attitudes sharply alternate between faith and doubts, exhilaration and despondency. Eventually, nervous instability will become so intense as to create a highly neurotic person unless they respond to self discipline. Yikes. Shit. Health aspects for the Sagittarius. The human body comprises virtually every known element, and it has combined them to form a countless number of chemical compounds. The chemicals that make up a building, the soil, and the ocean are all similar to those within the human body, though in different proportions. Even though the basic material of glass, sand is not excluded, for it is the mineral silicon oxide that is one of the indispensable biochemical cell salts in the body. In fact, silicon oxide is the cell salt that is most important to Sagittarius. Y'all heard the salt? Write the shit down. Silica, as it is commonly known, is also quartz and is composed of extremely sharp crystals. In this regard, it symbolizes the Sagittarius, the archer, with the sharp arrow that pierces its targets. When silica is tempered to a high enough point for fusion, it becomes a crystal clear, as do the thoughts of the Sagittarian when their self command and awareness have been tempered by the fusion of self control with adequate experience. Silica is found in the skin, nails of the human bodies. It gives the natural glossy look to your hair. It is also present in your membrane covering that protects the bones and your nerves. In general, this mineral is one of the most important strengtheners within your bodies. Damn. An insufficient supply is indicated by difficulty in your clear thinking, your despondency, red eyelids, red nostrils, with sore lips, acne, pimples on your face, boils, muffled hearing, and cathedral conditions of your upper respiratory tract. Natural foods that are rich in silica. Y'all need to fucking eat this. Eat this like your life depends on it, because it damn near does. Okay? All green vegetables, especially lettuce, parsley, asparagus, and cucumbers. Asparagus is pretty good. And so is cucumbers. Fresh strawberries. Make sure them shit's organic. Don't be fucking around. Sunflower seed kernels, raw and sprouted. Raw pumpkin seed kernels. Dried figs and sun-dried apricots. I don't fuck with apricots. They nasty. But some of y'all may like them. They're just too hard to eat. I don't like them. Their karmic lessons. With their natural love of philosophy and their deep compassion for life, Sagittarius will be well equipped to develop an excellent level of emotional control and mental stability. This will stand them in good stead for a high successful life in terms of their relationships with other people. Their natural desire to understand the meaning of things enables them to finally attune to the experiences of others and to provide valuable help to those in need. This is earthly expression of divine love and the fulfilling of a karmic need common to all the Sagittarians. So y'all need to focus on your mental stability. Just saying. That's what this book is telling y'all. Cause yeah, let me take off that shit right there. Cause yeah, anyway. So basically, it's saying like you will benefit from like developing excellent level of emotional control and mental stability. So you need to control your emotions and your mind, and that is hard as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. Their natural desire to understand the meaning of things enables them to finely attune to the experiences of others and to provide valuable help to those that are in need. I don't feel like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't feel like y'all got such a bad karmic like lesson. Cause like obviously you can't be an unhinged box. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta control your emotions. You know what I mean? And you obviously gotta control your mind too. Because remember, what you speak is what's going on in here. So if your mind's fucking nuts, you're gonna act crazy. So that to me, this is not a bad karmic lesson, but maybe it is to y'all. I don't fucking know. All right, so we're moving on to Cap. Choose me. All right, my bad. Let me go back to Sagittarius because I didn't read this to y'all. Forgive. Okay. So it says on here, being born under the fire element gives a Sagittarian woman a strong streak of daring and courage. And sometimes she's gone down in history for her intrepid nature. Grace Daring, who was born on November 24, 1815, was a lighthouse keeper's daughter who helped her father to rescue the survivors of the shipwreck Forfarshire during a wild storm. Edith Cavell, December 1865, was a nurse in the German-occupied Belgium during the First World War and was shot by Germans for helping many Allied soldiers to escape the country. More recently, Jane Fonda, December 21, 1937, risked her growing status as an actress to protest the U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War. That is crazy. Okay, now we can go to Capricorn. Capricorns, all right? Curious thing about Capricorns is that they seem much older than their years when they're young and much younger than their years when they're older. Life can often be tough for them at first and is not helped by what can be a strong tendency to look on the gloomy side, but it does get easier. With age comes experience, wisdom, and a wonderfully dry sense of humor. How to spot a Capricorn? The Capricorns need to be respected and taken seriously is often reflected in the way that they dress, especially when they have a crisis or of confidence. They like to wear classic, understated, and quite formal clothes, often in monochrome colors or pinstripes. Their shoes are polished, their hair is brushed, and they look extremely smart. Another easy way to spot a Capricorn is to study their faces because they frequently look rather worried and may even be in front. Wait, what? And may even by from be. See what I'm saying? How they don't spell correctly on here. Like this shit don't make no sense. What kind of fucking writing is this, y'all? I was an English major, so to me this shit is bumping on me. I don't like these type of writing. It's like a run-on sentence. The fuck. Anyway, my bad. So let's go back to where I was at. Okay, another easy way to spot a Capricorn is to study their face because their frequent look rather worried, may even be frowning in concentration or with anxiety. Typically, the Capricorn face is angular with the pronounced cheekbones, and the rest of the body is also bony. Capricorns tend to be tall and they often stoop slightly as though they are reluctant to be noticed. Their hair is usually very dark and thick. Capricorn is a very conventional sign in most ways, but in one abnormality is that they look old when they are young and become increasingly youthful when they are older. They wear most relaxed dresses, scents, and images as they age. Interesting. They're obviously Earth sign. They're cardinal. Their Saturn is their ruling planet. The colors they should be wearing is black and dark gray. Dark gray. I don't. Oh, I do have something that's dark gray. I'm like, dark gray. I'm trying to figure out because mostly this is like the color that you see in clothes and shit like that. Like I don't think there's much dark gray that's out there like that. But anyway, all right. So your day of the week is a Saturday. Your stone is carnelian, bro. Carnelian is such a good stone. I'm telling y'all, great manifesting stone. Your top 10 traits is that you're hardworking, you're responsible, you're self-effacing, you're astrological, you're respectable, you're ambitious, you're disciplined, you're driven, you're pessimistic. Sorry. And you're tactical. So you're tactful. The man, you know what they say about never judging a book by its cover. Well, the Capricorn man is certainly true to this. Oh God. He may give the impression of being rather sober, serious, and withdrawn, and possibly even a man of a few words. But once you get to know him, it's a total different story. He'll relax, he'll become chattier, and show a much more gentle side to him. He's got a very dry sense of humor, and at first, you may take him seriously because he says things in such a depend way. You'll soon realize that he's pulling your leg and he's delighted and amusing you. However, he's a man who needs to be respected. Okay. And he will be very hurt if he suspects that you're laughing at him rather than you're laughing with him. So even though they make jokes, they don't want you to mock them. That makes fucking sense. Why would you laugh at somebody that's rude? So, anyways, oh man, yo. So it says, honey, he may make a point of hiding his emotions and trying to appear calm and in control, but that doesn't mean that he's devoid of feeling. Far from it. Capricorn is a sign of hard work and the ability to learn from experience. It's all thanks to Capricorn's ruler Saturn, the planet that is linked to the school of hard knocks. So Mr. Capricorn often has a difficult start in life. Crazy. Luckily, instead of being defeated by all these setbacks, Mr. Capricorn's cardinal quality gives him the motivation to pull himself up by his bootstraps and makes the very best of whatever life has given to him. Saturn acts on him like the grit on the oyster that makes a pearl, thereby helping him to achieve many great things in his life. The list of successful Capricorn men is almost endless and covers many fields, including commerce. This is one of the areas ruled by Capricorn, so it's hardly surprising that several men whose names have become globally synonymous with the businesses they set up were born under this specific sign. They include Harry Gordon, Conrad Hilton, and King Camp Gillette. Oh, Gillette. Hilton, the Hilton Hotels. Interesting. Of course, every zodiac sign can boast a string of success stories, but what is specifically notable about these Capricorn businesses is that they're enduring fame. Something that is only to be expected when you consider that Saturn rules time. Mr. Capricorn likes to go out into the world to earn a living and gain the respect of his peers. But he also loves to come home to a happy and contented household. This is one of the areas of his life in which he's the most controversial. The fuck? Controversial and conventional. It gives him a firm emotional basis from which he operates. If he has children, he'll expect them to do their best. Oh, you can't expect people to do their best. Come on now. And will be quite strict at all times. No. Y'all better go hang with some Virgo men because that's crazy. Not hesitating to tick them off if he thinks they deserve it or if they don't emulate his work ethics. Okay. They may think he's heavy handed or old fashioned, but he believes it's all in good cause. He simply wants to be proud of them. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh my God. The Capricorn famous men are Tiger Woods, Henry Matisse, Michael Schumacher, Stephen Hawking, David Bowie, Martin Luther King, Muhammad Ali, Al Capone, and Cary Grant, which is an actor. Half of these people I don't know who the hell they are, anyways. Well, I know some of these is known, but not the others. Yeah, my daughter's name is Aurelia. You know what's crazy? I was told to name her that. I didn't even know I was pregnant, yo, which is even crazier because I was on birth control, but that's a whole nother story for my TikTok. All right, the women. So, there's a lot of women that are born under this sign, but let's talk about the characteristics. Meet one of the most capable women in the zodiac. Miss Capricorn knows exactly what she's doing and probably what you are supposed to be doing too. She likes to be organized and practical and prides herself on her reliability, especially at work where she will slog away from dusk to dawn if necessary. It may still be a man's world, but Miss Capricorn is determined to make her mark and on a level pegging too. Even if she has a home and a family to look after, she won't want any concessions to be made on that score and expects everyone at home to fend for themselves as best they can if she isn't around. No wonder motherhood can be a difficult proposition for the Capricorn women. Ooh. Because it stands a good chance of interfering with her ambitions. No bueno. Okay. So maintaining a happy balance between work and home can be difficult and a juggling act. She will be the best mother she can possibly be because after all, this isn't a woman who likes, oh shit, hold up, y'all. My bad. I have a timer on my light. Lights out. My bad. I have my timer because my kids don't shut the lights off. So I have the timer go off at 10 o'clock. Because they lovely my shit on. All right. She will be the best mother she can possibly be because after all, this isn't a woman who likes to do things by halves. But sometimes she might find motherhood easier if she simply relaxes a little bit and stops trying to teach her children valuable skills at every opportunity. Life isn't only about learning lessons. Okay. Her strong sense of responsibility and motivations that guide her each day, courtesy of her cardinal quality, can make Miss Capricorn come across as slightly formidable. She seems so capable, so driven, and apparently incapable of suffering fools gladly. Yet, that is only the part of the story of this complicated woman. Despite her tough persona, she is so eager to do the right thing in order to earn other people's respect that she often allows herself to be manipulated into situations that aren't of her choosing. This is especially likely to happen before she reaches her late 20s, because at this stage in her life, she's at her most impressionable and anxious. Once she is in her 30s, she begins to blossom and gains a much stronger sense of self. She also gives the impression that she's forced to be reckoned with. Yet, her initiate vulnerability is still there if you take the trouble to look for it. She may try to hide it, but it will be painfully obvious at times. You have to only look at the cool persona of Marlene Dietrich and the way Simone de Beauvoir held her own in the French literacy circles, despite many emotional setbacks, to see what a powerful proposition of a Capricorn woman can be. Although Venus is the planetary is the planet most associated with music. My bad, y'all. My throat chakra's messed up. What the hell? Saturn is connected through its ruler of time. Music usually has to keep to certain beat and rhythm. Some Capricorn women have become most famous around the world for their groundbreaking singing in many musical styles. The fuck? They include musical comedy star Ethel Merman, who was born in January 16, 1908, folk singer and activist Joan Baez, troubled rock chick Janis Joplin. I love Janis Joplin. I love her. Like her music was fucking. Bro, there has never been another singer like Janis Joplin. Let's not play. That woman was the best. I love that song, Crime Baby. That's my shit. Y'all probably know what the fuck I'm talking about. And disco queen Donna Summer. So those are epic people. Because Donna Summer was good too. Shit. All right, Capricorn. Here comes the bad stuff. Caution is the keynote of Capricornian expression. People born under this sign are generally intensely practical, too practical to take risks or attempt anything about which they have any reservations. Though they have the reputation for being determined, Capricorn people could not be truly regarded as having a strong general determination, but rather as being deliberate in doing those things that fall within the ambit of the conventional acceptable. As exceptionally law abiding citizens, they will not go beyond the commonly acceptable limitations of conventional society. Consistent with their orthodox attitude to society, these people place great emphasis upon material security, talents, and positions. Okay. Many Capricorns are found at the head of a large established corporation, trusts, and syndicates, where they serve very capably and faithfully. Children born when the sun is in Capricorn have very retentive memories, but unless they take steps to develop and train their memories, this valuable natural asset will dissipate soon after the academic studies have concluded. Oh shit, you got to keep stimulating your mind. If you're a Capricorn, you'll lose that shit. Like when you stop going to school and shit like that, you'll lose it. Damn, my wrist is bothering me. All right. Another special aspect of the children is their need for peace. They have a deep inner urge for periods of solitude. Well, shit, so do I. Without which they could become inexplicably melancholy. In fact, it is quite possible that some crib deaths are caused by undue noise shattering the delicate emotional balance of infants born under the sign of Capricorn, especially if they possess the arrow of the activity on their birth chart. What the hell? We'll keep moving. I don't even want to go back and read. Negative tendencies. With the approach of an Aquarian age comes a changing pattern of values in society. The orthodox is being questioned, the conventional is being modified, and everything is being investigated as to its suitability for the new age society. This is typically Aquarian, but very un-Capricornian. Consequently, many people born under the sign of Capricorn are currently feeling insecure because their deep faith in material is being shaken. Oh, y'all focus way too much on your bag. See, what I tell y'all all the time when I do y'all readings? Y'all always comment I was worried about your bag, and this shit damn near says it. This this produces an uneasiness that worries them. From this confusion will come a necessary reawakening, a reassessment of their values. They will recognize the importance differences between the human-made and the natural values in life, between the artificial and the real, the transcendent and the eternal, until the realization brings about the establishment of a new set of values. Life will seem empty and they will experience much indefinable sadness. Damn. They can be easily helped when these causes are recognized. For then they will become aware of the need to adjust their outlook and to plan for their future rather than to live in the past. Y'all worry too much about your bag, man. Your health aspects, okay? Relating Capricorn to the anatomy of the human body, we find that its emphasis is directed towards the knees and the legs. It is therefore in this region that special care must be exercised. Okay? This is crazy. Caution must be intensified if two or more fours appear in your birth chart. Oh, shit. Caution must be intensified if two or more fours appear in your birth chart. The most abundant mineral salt in the human body is the most critical to the health of Capricorns. Calcium phosphate, is the bone building material that is important to the health of everyone. but especially to those that are born under the Capricorn sign. Most Capricorns are susceptible to weakened bones. Ooh, no bueno. And tooth decay. Oh, shit. And excessive albumin in their urine. This free albumin is unable to find sufficient calcium phosphate with which to combine, and it's consequently overflows into the urine for eliminations. The chronic calcium phosphate deficiency symptoms of your thyroid enlargements, which cause your conditions known as goitry, is not due to your lack of iodine, but your excess free albumin. Oh, you guys gotta fucking drink this salt to keep that shit balanced. That's bad. Thyroid shit is nothing to fuck with. I'm telling you. Other calcium phosphate deficiency symptoms that might become evident from time to time are colds, tonsillitis. Oh my god, my daughter's an Aries, but she had that tonsillitis shit, and that shit is so bad, y'all. Like you end up some people end up getting surgery from that. That's how bad it gets. All right. Difficulty in swallowing, periods of hoarseness, head and face irritations, nervousness, and lack of concentrations. The orthodox outlooks of the Capricorns is nowhere more characteristically expressed than in their dietary habit. They follow unquestionably the modern diet of refined and processed food. Oh shit. Y'all eat like shit. Abundant meat and white bread, tea and coffee, sweets and chocolates, and so on. Damn. In short, their diet is limited in nutritional values. Damn. Y'all eat like shit. Yeah, again, I will repeat, y'all eat like shit. So you need to eat better. Okay. All right. In short, their diets is a diet of limited nutritional value, imposing upon their bodies undesirable acid residues, particularly uric and oxalic acids. Both these acids leach from the body's vital stores of calcium phosphate, creating an inherent problem for those that are born on the Capricorn sign. Foods affording valuable supplies of natural calcium phosphate are in descending order: yeast, brewers, and torula, Swiss and cheddar cheeses, all raw unsalted nuts and seeds, soya beans, soya grits, and soya milk, fresh unprocessed wheat germ, whey powder, raw fresh egg yolks, parsley, broccoli, and most other green vegetables, particularly sprouted. Your karmic lessons. As an earth sign, Capricorn indicates involvement in service to humankind. But first, spiritual understanding must be attained to expand the Capricorn outlook. Some find this through their church, some through service clubs, others through charitable work. It is a difficult challenge for Capricorns to realize, to recognize, forgive me, the limitations that a material frame of mind has. But this they must do if they are to triumph over dogmatism. In addition, they must learn to develop a sensitivity and respect for others' feelings, at least to the extent that they seek the same. Y'all hear that? That's your karmic lesson. What the fuck going on? Give me a minute, y'all. I'll be back. My bad. All right, so now we're going to Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius is the sign that marches to a different drummer. Some Aquarians are more influenced by the sign's traditional ruler Saturn, while others are more like its modern ruler Uranus. Aquarians are noted for their humanitarian impulses, their egalitarian beliefs, and their initiate friendliness. They can find it easier to deal with groups of people than with one-to-one relationships, which can puzzle them. How to spot an Aquarius. Although Aquarius has a reputation for looking eccentric and striking, in reality, it is the Uranian-ruled Aquarians who stand out from the crowd in this way. They like to wear highly individual clothes following their own idiosyncratic style and don't give two hoots if other people think odd about them. Such an attitude makes little sense to Aquarians who are strongly Saturn because they are much more conscious of what other people think of them. Despite this, they will still enjoy creating their own look from their hair right down to their shoes. Usually, a Uranian influenced Aquarian likes to break the sartorial rules when they are young, taking pleasures in raising eyebrows, but they become more controversial as they get older. They may not they may not be because they have mellowed, but because simply they were in the vanguard of the latest fashions and now everyone is copying them. Aquarians have intelligent, lively faces and are frequently have slightly crooked teeth. Favorite colors include bright blues. Anyway, I'm not gonna say that. That didn't make no sense. So they're basically saying that most Aquariuses have messed up teeth. Anyways, their sign is air. Because I know an Aquarian and his teeth are fucking perfect. That's why I'm like, what? But I mean, maybe he's just one out of many. I don't know. His sign is air. Well, your sign is air, my Your modality is fixed. Your planetary ruler is Uranus. Your color is ultramarine. Whoa, I haven't heard that. Ultramarine is interesting. Days of the week are Saturday, best day, if you're asking me. Gemstone is aquamarine. Your top 10 traits is you're friendly, you're unconventional, you're independent, you're detached, you're intelligent, you're humanitarian, you're rational, you're objective, you're quirky, and you're intractable. How the fuck are you a humanitarian but you're detached? Because you have to be empathetic and like people in order to be a humanitarian. So how are you detached? I don't know. Anyways, let's move on. The Aquarius man. The Aquarius man. You could never be quite sure what you're gonna get with an Aquarius man. Ain't that the truth? Sometimes he's gentle, sweet, and understanding, and at others he's rigidly rational, emotionally detached to the point of being frostier than the North Pole, and clearly of the opinion that you've lost your marbles. I have a friend that I've known since I was really really young. Like, I mean, a long time. And he's like, I used to tell him all the time that he was like black and white because like he would be like all giddy and nice and all helpful and stuff, and then he would turn to this like ice king, and I'm like, damn, why the fuck you act like that? And it makes sense with this right here. Oh my god. All right, so it says on here, and clearly of the opinion that you've lost your marbles. It's all because of the contrary nature of the most contrary of the signs. If there's one rule to remember above all for Mr. Aquarius is that it is to expect the unexpected, because you never know what you're gonna get or what he will say or do next. Yikes, unpredictable. He has his modern planetary ruler Uranus to thank for this, because Uranus likes to stir things up and keep everybody on their toes. You might think that, at least for now, you know where you stand. But when there is an added complementation, because Aquarius' traditional ruler is Saturn, that most traditional and structured of planets. As a result, the Aquarian man can be caught between two extremes of Saturnian convention and Uranian innovation. Happily, this gives the Aquarian man tremendous brain power and intellects. Some notable Aquarian men, such as Thomas Edison, Francis Galton, and Charles Darwin, have taken things one step further and had insights of pure genius that transformed the world. But even the average Mr. Aquarius, assuming that there is such a creature in this most idiosyncratic of signs, there's no slouch when it comes to puzzling out problems and using his intelligence. He isn't always academically minded because often he considers that to be a waste of his time, so they don't like school. Instead, he's looking for practical results for everything from changing the wheel of his car to working out the most perplexing mysteries of his life. Mr. Aquarius emphasizes on ideas and accentuated by his air sign, which makes him want to run headlong from the messy business of deep emotions and what he sees as all of us that goes with them. He doesn't understand why people can't just deal with the facts of the situation instead of getting heated up. Well, shit, you don't do well with no damn water sign because we lead with emotions. I'm just saying. Okay. About how it affects them emotionally. After all, he's able to dispassionate, so why can't they? It may be significantly, slightly different story if he has several planets in Pisces. Yeah, because no. Because that means that he's much more likely to be swayed by his feelings. You can't just be cold like that and think that shit is all right. It's not. Okay? It's not. Fatherhood does not always come easily to Mr. Aquarius, especially if he's governed by Uranus than by Saturn. But he will do his utmost to give his children a good grounding in common sense and the ability to think for themselves, and will secretly be proud as punch of everything that they achieve, even if he can never quite bring himself to say so. And let me tell you, Aquarius man, they fine as fuck. But y'all too cold for me. I can't fuck with y'all. We ain't doing this. We need nice, loving, empathetic souls that'll allow us to, use our emotions and burst into anger and tears that we need to without being like, why are y'all acting like that? Controversy and Aquarius go hand in hand. It's not the Aquarians deliberately try to cultivate notoriety and shock tactics. It's simply a way of life for them. The tempestuous on court outbursts of John McEnroy. Who the fuck is that? Anyway, sometimes got more press coverage than his skilled tennis playing. Barry Humphries has not only two outrageous alter egos, the housewife and superstar Dame Edna Everett and grotesque Les Patterns, the prolific writer Georges Simenon made his name with Margaret novels, but became notorious for his many sexual exploits. Moving on, the women, because the women are not the same as the men, right? Obviously, life can be difficult for the Aquarius woman. She is capable of achieving so many things and is so often much more able to do so than the men. Oh, okay. Yes, society rules about what women should and shouldn't do can often hold her back from attaining everything that she has to offer. If she does go out on a limb and does her own thing in the style of Germaine Greer, she often has to put up with endless criticisms about her apparent lack of femininity. If she stops herself from doing everything she'd like to do, she has to live with the nagging feeling that she's let herself down. Finding the right balance is a conundrum that every Aquarius woman must face at some point, and it won't be easy to find a solution unless she has several planets in Aquarius. One thing that's certain is the number of admiring friends in Miss Aquarius's life. Aquarius is the sign of friendship, and Miss Aquarius certainly knows how to cultivate a circle of interesting and intellect chums. People whom she considers to be numbskulls will be disappointed because she'll be charming to them but won't want to spend too much time with them. Not that she's a snob, because she's interested in people for whom they truly are, not what they own or who they are or who they know. As a result, she has friends from all walks of her life, provided that they have the wit to keep up with her intellectually. Her loyalty, which she gets from the fixed nature of Aquarius, enables her to stick to her friends through thick and thin, perhaps surprisingly for a sign that prides itself on rationality. Miss Aquarius can be very idealistic about the people she loves, and that can lead to disappointments. She'll put up with this for a while in charming ways before finally making a firm shoot from the hip comments that send the other person reeling. Yikes. If Miss Aquarius becomes a mother, she'll bring up her children in her own unique ways. Being a cuddly and tactile mother doesn't come naturally to her. Although she will love her children with all of her heart, rather than swaddling them in emotional cotton, wool, or wool, and never wanting them to leave her sight, she will encourage them to develop their own interests, to make plenty of friends, and will gladly discuss every subject under the sun with them, because she believes that the one gift that she can give to them is the ability to stand on their own 2 feet. Hey, Berlina. This is crazy. All right, so now let's go to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all health shit. Because this is where shit gets crazy. All right. So, Aquarius. As harbingers of the New Age, Aquarians not surprisingly focus on the quality of life and work for the betterment of all living creatures, humanity in particular. It is imperative to the Aquarius that they are allowed to study life in all its grandeur. Such a preoccupation embraces an extremely broad scope: science, philosophy, regions, mathematics, and anything related to veneration of life. This is typically New Age. Fundamental to every Aquarian is their need to be trusted, their need for truths, and their abhorrence of hypocrisy. They don't like fake people. You heard that? They don't want you to be fake and phony. Me neither. I ain't got Aquarius in my chart, but I don't play that shit. So I'm with y'all. Oh shit. Every Aquarian has an interest in metaphysical concepts. Ooh, they like magic, which is only now being given full scope in the face of humankind's increasingly widened horizons of understandings. As a result, the role of the Aquarius is gaining greater importance in society. Blessed with a good memory and a naturally strong fortitude, Aquarians have always been the seekers of esoteric knowledge. Y'all like magic shit. That's what's up. Email, text me, Berlina. But now they are coming into their own powerful era when such knowledge is not only accepted, but actually sought after. Actually, text me, Berlin, or you could just email me. All right. Negative tendencies to be surmounted, arising from their intense dislike of deception and hypocrisy. Aquarius are apt to overact against those whom they regard as guilty of such conducts. It is then that they must remind themselves that life is full of lessons, and that the hypocrites by what up, and that the hypocrite by perpetuating I can't say that shit, yo. Such a sin has initiated their own karmic retribution, which will manifest as they appropriate lessons at precisely the right time. The Aquarian should be ever ready to offer compassionate guidance and brotherly love. An emotional reaction would result in their own karmic debts The Aquarian suffers acutely from tensions due to their highly sensitive nervous system and delicate digestive system. So you get headaches a lot. Frequently head wait, fuck. Frequent headaches are usual consequence. Well, that makes sense because it literally just said it at the top. Anyway, other symptoms of emotional tension include impaired blood circulations, depression, and constant tiredness, all the result of enervation. Aquarians must recognize that their acute sensitivities is intended to facilitate the understanding of life, both physically and metaphysically. Along with this, they must learn to protect themselves from those who would impose on them and waste their vital energies or attempt to regulate and exploit their powers. Yikes. Your health aspects, right? The expression of the Aquarius reveals itself more in mental and spiritual realms rather than their physical realm. They should therefore not try to emulate feats or physical prowess performed by others, but be content with their own special powers. Aquarians have certain vulnerable parts of their bodies that require special cares. These are their ankles, their calves, and their necks. Their calves and their necks. It follows that they should avoid skiing, football, and other sports of activities in which these parts of our body are placed in jeopardy. Oh shit, don't do those sports. Well, y'all are fuck because I love skiing, so good thing I don't got crazy in my chart. That's crazy. All right. Aquarius generally have slender necks and will often register tension in this region, causing headaches or back pain requiring chiropractic care. The biochemic cell salt most needed by Aquarius is NATMER, sodium chloride. This is usually referred to as a common salt and is the second most plentiful salt in the body. But the sodium chloride demanded by the body as a component of a cellular nutrition is certainly not the common salt originating in seawater. Sea salt and table salt are far too coarse for the body use because they irritate your high sensitive lining of gastrointestinal tracts. You know what? I read something about salt being so bad for you and shit like that, and people really genuinely think that that shit is good for you. It's really bad for you. You gotta leave that shit out your diets, man. In addition to food, will often lead to hypertension, swollen joints, and other problems involving their bloods and joints. We must obtain our basic nutrients from the soil of which out body originally of which out body. See what I'm saying? How they had typos in this motherfucker, and it's not just me, y'all. That don't make sense. It's if which our body originally derived from. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm finical because I literally have a minor in English. Like this shit don't make no sense to me. I be tripping over this stuff. But this is whoever wrote this definitely didn't proofread. Moving on. All right. So it says on here, natural foods rich in sodium chloride include the most abundant amounts, sprouted seeds and fresh green vegetables, especially celery, beetroots, and carrots. God, I'll pray for y'all. Beetroots is a strong vegetable to eat. Also included in the list are dried figs, raisins, and sultanas. For those who seek additional sources, egg yolks, brewer's yeast, and molasses can be also taken. Your deficiency in natural sodium chloride can cause impairment in your digestive due to your lack of mucus, dry mouths, and throat, irritation of your eyes and your skin, your chilblains, and your reduced vitality. Contrary to the popular belief, cramps do not arise from inadequate sodium chloride, but rather from sluggish circulation and or excessive cellular toxicity. Ingesting salt tablets after excessive perspiration defeats the body's efforts to rid itself of unwanted saline toxicity through its pores. Karmic lessons. The roles of the Aquarian are harbinger of the new age in harbinger of the new age is already known. Sorry, my bad. This is achieved through the building of a strong bond of kinship that unites humankind to its intolerant respect of the individuals. For human society is a huge conglomeration of people of vastly different spiritual ages, karmic histories, geographical limitations, ethnic origins, and religious conditionings. Total guidance can therefore never be achieved by rigid dogmatic plans. Human betterment will result only from understanding that permits the best developments of the individuals. But the essential ingredient to this brotherhood, the recognition of eternal fraternity of the New Age, is based upon harmonizing of individual personalities for the upliftment of all. So you have to learn to be harmonizing with others. That's what this bitch just said. Yep, you do. That's your shit. All right. Pisces. Pisces. All right, so this is obviously the last sign. If y'all haven't hit that like button, please do, because I've been sitting here for 2 hours. At least donate me a thumb. You know what I'm saying? All right, so for the Pisces people, we're just going to read this one and then we're going to go to the other book. So for the Pisces people, some of the sweetest, kindest people on the earth are born under the sign of the Pisces. These people seem to possess a special talent for helping those in need. Considerably assisted by their hypersensitive nature, they are very responsive to environmental influences and therefore should not knowingly expose themselves to hostile conditions. The loyalty, trustworthiness, and generosity of a well-adjusted Pisces are obvious to all that knows them. It is because I gotta put my finger on things so I don't lose my shit. It's because they are so willing that they are easily imposed upon and should lean to guard themselves against this. Pisces should not assume that everyone is trustworthy as they do. Oh, stop being gullible. The nature loving sympathy of people born under the sign of Pisces makes them ideal healers. Whether the demand be of a physical, emotional, or psychic nature, they will understand and provide the help where it is most needed. Again, they do not regard this quality as anything special, believing everyone to be so endowed. This illustrates the beautiful nature, modesty of the Pisces. As unusual quality in these years of acute ambitiousness, dedicated to helping humankind, the efficient and industrious Pisces tend to overlook the less worthy motives of many few scruples. They must learn to sharpen their powers of assessment and to discriminate between those souls who really need their help and those who are merely wanting to use them. Oh, shit. You hear that shit? That is treacherous. That's fucking treacherous. Yo, it's crazy. Your negative tendencies are basically you lack sound judgment. Oh God. The lack of sound judgment that characterizes younger Pisces must often be remedied by hurtful experiences. It seems unfortunate that their acute sensitivity has to be so harshly treated, but so essential are life lessons that no other method will suffice. As they develop a little more confidence, Pisces become prone to over anxieties about those in need. No matter how much they do to try to help, they are invariably troubled by the thoughts and they are not doing enough. So you guys worry too much about people. Like you feel like when you help them, you're not doing enough. That's not good. So you get anxiety from this shit. This anxiety becomes a real problem unless they adopt a more philosophical understanding, supported by adequate training in as many of the natural therapies as they can assimilate. Unless they secure sound training in their enthusiasm to heal, Pisces could ultimately dissipate their energies and become despondent. This could lead them to seek solace in drugs, alcohol, or crimes. Oh, shit. And it is true, y'all are known for the sign that falls into that stuff. That is crazy. Some suffer from long-term mental derangement as a result of many and repeated annoyances. Oh, no. So how do we heal that, right? The body's extremities of the Pisces are pronounced importance. They have strong healing hands, but weak feet. And I'm going to tell you, I love Pisces people. I do. I ain't even going to lie to y'all. I have real good friends that are Pisces. There's a powerful magnetic healing force natural to Pisces that is capably transmitted through their hands. Their feet often cause them anguish from sprains, strains, fallen arches, and the likes, indicating that they must take special care of their vital appendages. The biochemical cell salt indispensable to healing the Pisces is ferrum phos. Ferric, iron, is iron. Ferric phosphate is iron. As iron attracts oxygen, the vital mineral salt revitalizes the body by energizing the blood. Simultaneously, it carries oxygen around the body for use in its every function. If insufficient oxygen is available to the blood, the body attempts to distribute the ratios as best as it can. To do this, the blood motion's pressure is increased. This creates higher than normal heat, often high enough to be called a fever. Rather than treat this fever with suppressant drugs, the amount of ferric phosphate should be increased. So when y'all get sick, don't treat it with like Tylenol and dumb shit like that. You should drink iron. By ensuring that the diet comprises foods rich in this nutrient. If the correction is not undertaken, the more chronic problem of anemia can result. Further symptoms of deficiency in ferric phosphate include depression. That is crazy. I did not know that iron heals that. That if you're deficient in iron, you can get depression. That is crazy. I'm learning so much just by teaching y'all about your own shit. It's like, what? Like, I briefly skimmed this, don't get me wrong, but that part I did not remember when I read this. I'm not going to even front. Shit. So it says on here, so it basically includes depression, bleeding, inflammatory pains, and congestion. This is such a vital salt that its deficiency affects your functioning of your every part of your body. Ew. A wide choice of natural foods enrich ferric phosphate. Listed in order concentrations are yeast, brewers, and torula. Pepitas, pumpkin seed kernels. Sunflower seed kernels, raw and sprouted. Soya beans, soya grits, and soya milk. Wheat germ and bran. Fresh raw nuts, especially almond, pistachios, and pine nuts kernels. But I mean, I think like if y'all got like the iron injections, that will probably be better because that's intravenous. So go straight to your leg. Egg yolks fresh, preferably raw, and sprouted seeds, pulses, and grains. Your karmic lessons. This sign is one of the that offers the most peace. Yet we are passing through what has been universally regarded as the Pisces age without appearing to have achieved much peace in this world. Other quite tremendous factors based on the human cravings for power and fame seem to intercede, placing greater demand upon the forthcoming Aquarian age to improve the quality of life on Earth. Pisces are destined to play a unique role in this endeavor, for they are eminently qualified to teach the world peace through understanding and trust. By the same token, they are intended to bring peace to those that are sick, whose illnesses have hindered their eternal search for their inner selves. Oh, y'all are supposed to be healers, but you got to first be able to control yourself and be healed before you heal. I'm just saying. All right, I'm just saying. Okay. So we're going to read your last thing and then we're going to be done with Pisces. Pisces, being the final sign of the zodiac, is a watery element that makes people born in this star sign extremely sensitive, not only physically, but emotionally, and sometimes even psychically. As a result, Pisces often become overwhelmed by the surroundings and need time alone to recuperate. How to spot a Pisces? It's easy. All you need to do is look at their feet, because a Pisces will enjoy emphasizing this part of their body in some way. They may wear beautiful shoes, handmade if they can afford such a luxury, or may go to the opposite extreme and make a point of going barefoot at every opportunity. When standing, their feet may even fall naturally into one of the 5 ballet positions. There is a dreamy quality to a typical Pisces, an often marked air of glamour, with an emphasis on lovely clothes, floaty scarves, and dangling jewelry. They like to wear perfume and aftershave too, switching from one fragrance to the next as they fancy. However, some Pisces take little interest in their appearance and may seem to go out of their way to look unkept and disheveled. Classic Pisces colors are shades of mauve and lilac, aquamarine, and sea green. Their water sign, the mutable, their planet ruler is Neptune. Okay, their colors are sea greens, purples, and their day of the week is Thursdays. Their stones is amethyst, and you know what? If you know about crystals, amethyst has to do with psychic abilities, which is crazy because it does talk about them having psychic abilities. Okay, all right. So their top 10 traits is empathetic, the charitable, the sensitive, the compassionate, the romantic, the over emotional, they're vague, they're secretive, they're escapist, and they're suggestible. The Pisces man. The Pisces glyph shows the two fishes swimming in opposite directions, and it explains a lot about the Pisces man. He is often slightly confused by life and not quite sure what he is doing, even though he might never dare to admit it to anyone. Unfortunately, his astrological inheritance doesn't help him in the slightest. He's a water sign, which makes him sensitive to atmospheres and strongly affected by his emotions. He's ruled by Neptune, which is the most nebulous and mysterious of all the planets and which undermines his boundaries. And just to put the icing on the cake, Pisces is a mutable sign, which makes him changeable and adaptable, but also with strong escapist tendencies. This might sound like a recipe for a disaster. Yet, you only have to scan a list of celebrity Pisces men to see that they can achieve great heights in life, such as Steve Jobs, Rupert Murdoch, Harvey Goldsmith, and Harvey Weinstein. We're all born under this sign, and this isn't only their mothers who admire them for their successes. One characteristic that marks out Mr. Pisces from the other men in the zodiac is his capability to dream. Some Pisces men make a virtue out of being dreamers and may even manage to change the world in the process. Albert Einstein harnessed the power of his imagination to discover the theory of relativity with groundbreaking results. Other Pisces men are dreamers who will always have lots of big plans, but somehow never quite manage to turn them into their realities. They may give you a string of reasons for their lack of their successes, often blaming other people or their fate rather than themselves. Unfortunately, the slippery nature of the Pisces fish can mean that a few men born under this sign are skilled at double dealing, playing the victim or weaving stories about themselves that are completely untrue. So y'all are liars. In their way of acting out, the Pisces need to escape from their reality every now and then. Happily, most Pisces men find most positive ways by doing this. So y'all like to create these elaborate, crazy ass stories and shit. Y'all should open up a TikTok and get crazy with it. One of Mr. Pisces' greatest qualities is his sense of compassion. He can be acutely aware of the plight of others, which may prompt him to donate his time or money to a favorite charity or to give someone the emotion or practical support they need. He can also be extremely creative and artistic and a great Pisces man, enjoying expressing himself through dance, music, paintings, and acting. The women, the women have a big heart. Miss Pisces has a big heart. Her sensitivity and kindness can be wonderful assets, but they can also act as stumbling blocks when her defenses are down because she's so easily moved by other people's problems. Listening to her friends' tale of woe, reading a newspaper, or even watching a grueling episode of her favorite soap opera can be quite an ordeal for her. It's because her powerful imagination makes it only too easy for her to put herself in the shoes of someone who is having a hard time. So she suffers viciously through them. She can feel quite equally traumatized by her own problems, which she endlessly replays in her own mind until they assume massive proportions that have little bearings on the real situation. This is not only giving her sleepless nights, but makes her feel incapable of dealing with whatever is going on. Ooh, when in fact she's more than capable to cope. It's simply that she believes otherwise. When she does summon up the courage to sort out her difficulties, she feels tremendously proud of herself and with good reason. However, if she has to stand up for someone and hold her ground, she can castigate herself afterwards if castigate herself afterwards about it, even if she was perfectly justified in acting as she did. Dealing with her in reality is all light and shade, can be in a tall order. Yikes. Mrs. Pisces, especially if her chart features several planets in this most sensitive of the sign, she has a tendency to push unpleasant facts and thoughts to the back of her mind, where instead of disappearing, they loom at her in a menacing fashion and can scare her considerably. In addition to this, she can be very idealistic, hoping for the best even when it seems most unlikely to happen. It is very common for her to put people on a lofty pedestal and then to feel completely let down when she discovers that they aren't the superhuman creatures that she had imagined. If she has children, Mrs. Pisces will think the world of them, while doing whatever she can to protect them from the disappointments and setbacks, sometimes to the point of being too protective. She will be loving and affectionate towards them and will use her wonderful imagination to invent exciting games on wet afternoons and restful stories at bedtime. Creativity is very important for Miss Pisces. The children's illustrator Kate Greenaway and dancers Marie Rambert, Lynn Seymour, and Sid Charisse are all born under this sign. So she'll encourage her children to discover their own individual talents. She will also teach her children to be kind and considerate to others and to tune into the more mysterious sides of lives, something that she herself knows all too well about. Oh, they make good mommies. All right, my loves, that is y'all shit about all the signs. You know what I'm saying? I hope I was able to help y'all so y'all can better understand. I am going to keep this up, obviously, so y'all can go back into this and listen to it in case if y'all are interested in, like, obviously bettering your diets, listening to your karmic lessons, and fixing yourself spiritually. Obviously, these videos are going to remain up. It doesn't matter when you'll be able to go back and listen to this stuff and check your stuff. You know what I'm saying? To help y'all in y'all spiritual journey, you guys. I'm going to be getting off. I'm wishing y'all a good night. Hopefully, y'all are, you know what I'm saying, gonna be productive because tomorrow we got all signs, you know what I'm saying? So meet me here tomorrow, you guys. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.